Okay, so we are good to go. So very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I welcome you all for this online session, and I thank every one of you for attending this session during this lockdown and work from home environment. So we really appreciate your efforts. And today we will be discussing about Sage Research Methods, a platform which is owned by Sage on research methodology. So I'd be talking in brief about what is this platform and how is this going to be useful for scholars and faculty members. And the topic I have made is like Sage Research Methods, tips from topic selection to publication. So that's what we will be discussing about. My credentials are here. You can feel free to contact me or my colleague Deepak for any of your queries post this session. And with me, I have my colleague from Kolkata, Kingshuk, and my colleague from Bangalore, Naveen, and of course my colleague Deepak, who's based out of our Delhi office. So we will provide all our contact details to you, so that in future, if you require any assistance from our side, we'll be happy to do so. So as I was mentioning in the beginning of the session, I'm recording this session. I'll be sharing that recording with you all, and I'll be um, switching between the PPT slides and the online platform to make you better understand. And at the end of this session, I'll be sharing this video recording as well as the slides. And the trial is going to be set for you. The request is already made by today evening or tomorrow. I will give you the login credentials. So all of you can feel free to use the trial. The trial will run for 2 months. So please use the trial effectively and see how this platform is going to help you in your research progress. So with that very short introduction, today we will be talking about Sage Research Methods. What is it and what is in it and who is it for? So Sage Research Method is a database covering around 4,000 plus resources dedicated in the research methods space. So starting from writing a research question to conducting a literature review, choosing the best research methods, analyzing the data and summing up your research and getting into publication. So the entire method domain is covered by the Sage Research Method platform, and the URL for this would be methods.sagepub.com. So if you see the history, how this platform came into existence in 1965, Ms. Sarah McKeown, who is our founder of Sage, the picture is on the right corner of your screen. So one of the flagship titles that we started publishing was Little Blue Books and Little Green Books. So Little Green books are basically for quantitative techniques in research, and blue books are for qualitative techniques in research. These are small, affordable, accessible, practical, short booklets, which become a real good success. And then we launched our Sage Research Methods platform in 2011. When it started like ebooks platform. So all the little blue books, excuse me, little green books, and all the research methodology books were first put into this digital platform. And then in 2014, as we increased our author connect who are creating content on research methodology, they started adding more different varieties of content to this platform. So one such variety was cases. So cases on research methods that got added in 2014. And then we felt that scholars and professors would need a lot of clean, noise-free data sets for them to kind of teach research methodology to their students. So we added data sets sourcing from authentic sources. We added it to the platform in 2015, and then slowly we moved to video content in 2016, and then we started adding a lot of research tools into the platform from 2017 on. So right now we stand at this database which has around 4,000 plus varieties of content into it. So what is the Sage Research Method intend to do? Actually, if you classify the research workflow of scholars into major milestone, I could pick these 6 of them. Of course, there are many, but these 6 I felt that it's really important. One is number one, first and foremost is defining the topic. And then scholars and professors do a lot of literature review, and then comes the research design. So we will discuss about which method to select, and then we start collecting data, and then we analyze the data, and that's what our research output is primarily going to be. And then we write up, and then comes our dissemination of content. So that's 6, I would say, critical milestones in any research project. And I will be touching upon how Sage Research Method is going to contribute to you all your this 6, and also more than this, the milestones in your research project, how Sage Research Methods can be effectively used. That's the nutshell of this presentation is going to be. So as I was mentioning, Sage Research Methods platform has different varieties of content. So one is our books, all the books that we published on research methodology, and there are a lot of major reference works and journal articles which we group under reference, and then comes cases, data sets, and videos. So there are 4 types of content types which are present in this platform, and there are 4 types of research tools which are present in this platform: project planner, reading list, methods map, and which statistics test. And then this platform is actually blended with a lot of features in it. So it has, as like any digital platform, this also has your basic search, advanced search, search by content type, all options are available. And if you would want to save your searches, you should be in a position to do that in the platform, and you can directly cite all the content available in the platform. This platform is fully peer reviewed content, so you can freely cite this in your research work, and you can also share the content. So it's a good blend of content and features, which makes this Sage Research Methods platform one of the unique platforms that any publisher is producing in terms of research methodology content. So with that short introduction, I would go to the platform. So this is what the homepage of Sage Research Methods platform will look like. You have a Google-like search bar. You can type any keywords and search and get into the platform. And as I was mentioning, you have a lot of content varieties into this platform. So if you would want to just see only the videos in the platform, go click on that, and a homepage of that video will appear, and then you can search like similar, this Google-like search bar will appear, and you can type in your keyword and search. And if you would want to see only cases, you have here. If you want only data sets, you have here. And if you further go down, if you're into any particular discipline, so this platform comprises of around 23 disciplines. So any of the discipline, if you would want to go ahead and see what kind of research methodology content available in the platform, click on that particular discipline, and then you will be in a position to get into the platform. And then these are some of the platform features and tools which are described through videos and slides, etc. And at the bottom you will have some resources for librarian and faculty members. So that's the home screen of the platform. When you land on methods.sagepub.com, this is where you land. And once I give you the username and password for your trial access, you will key in and log into the platform and start using the platform. So how would you do that? I will just do that right now for you. So click on this right top corner, institution, a button called institution. Click on it. And
Shriram,
if you see,
sorry to interrupt. Before we move forward, I suppose if someone from our attendees has a question, so they have raised their hands.
yeah,
Hi, this is Sulagna. I'm doing PhD in finance. So I just want to know where my topic will come under. There is no such choice of finance under the subjects that you showed. Is it under
generally
economics?
it should be, yeah, it should be under economy and business and management. These
Okay,
two
thank you.
are the ones that you would refer. And no worries, whichever topic you are doing, whichever stage you are in, or whichever keyword you want to search, you can straight away go ahead and key in the word and search. For example, any particular method you want to understand or any topic that you want to study, just key in over here and you can get into the content. So the other way is that if you want to go straight away to your discipline, business and management covers finance, and a bit of economics also covers finance. So any one of these two subject areas you can select and get into it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for your question. Um, so I was getting into the platform. So the moment you receive your username and password, click over here, and don't go to this login via your institution. Straight away key in the username and password that I'm going to give it to you. Right now I have my own demo ID and password, so I will use that. So similarly, you will also get like IIFT underscore SRM can be your username, and Sage 2020 or something will be your user ID password. Key in that and just click on login. So the moment you do this, you will be logging into your institutional subscription. So just give me a second. So right now it says Sage India sales demo. here you will see your institute name, because when we set up an institutional trial, generally we do that on the IP ranges, but because of this COVID and work from home situation, we are providing you a username and password basis access, so that from anywhere you can log in with that and you can get into the platform. The second thing that I would want you to do is that, like when we buy any print book or anything, generally as kids we used to write our name on top of it, right? So similarly in this platform, writing our name is creating our own profile, so that it will help you to make your personalized activities saved. Like for example, if you're doing a search and if you want to save it, if you are creating a bookshelf, if you want to save it, or any other customization you want to do for yourself, of course not big customization, which is available in the platform, you would want to do that, that should be saved, and for that you need to create a profile. So I've already created my profile. So if not, then you will just click on here and create your profile. It will ask for very basic information, nothing confidential. You can do that and get into the profile. I've already created one. So I will put my username, my email ID, password, and I'll just click login. So two things I have done now. Number one, I have logged into my institution, and number two, I created my profile and I've logged into my profile. If you see my profile, and this is logged in. So this is the first thing that I would want to showcase to you, so that when you get your username and password, this is what you are supposed to do, right? So I would go back to my presentation deck. So starting with, now we know what is there in the home page. We have seen how to log into Sage Research Methods platform and how to create a profile. The first topic that I would be covering is defining a topic. So when we are starting our research, the first milestone is like defining a topic. So what are the practical things that we should think about before starting our research? Number one, is the research project doable? How it should be or might be done? And can we do the research or complete the research and proceed with our publication within the given time frame, 4 years or 5 years? And then do we have all the resources related to this particular research, and do we have adequate knowledge to start the research, and how to fulfill the aim of research and add knowledge to the knowledge domain? And there are some of other constraints that we need to think, is that what is the time available, what is the resources material required, and any ethical approval that we need to take before getting into the research. So you must be wondering why this is coming as a part of a platform demo. I would want to say that these topics or these concepts or the slides that I am presenting, everything is taken from the Sage Research Methods platform, right? I will get into that. This is particularly for faculty members. If you are conducting a research methodology course, you can actually peruse the content available in the platform and make such slides and present in your class. Similarly, how to identify a good research topic. Is the topic interesting for you, or are you having enough knowledge about the topic? Is the topic good topic that it would be a kind of topic which will take adequate time for you to do the research? And the important part is like access questions. Can you get, if you want to interview somebody for this particular research, can you get to those people? Is there any ethical approval required? Is there any government approval or any requirements which are there for this research? These are some things that we need to think before the research, getting into the research, which is always taught by our professors and teachers. So at my slides, many places I have given such link. If you click on that, you will straight away go into the platform. There's a hyperlink that will take to your platform. Why I've given this access hyperlink is that it's a beautiful handbook, and it talks about how important is this access questions for your research. I'll get into that while let it open. I would get to the platform back and start demoing the platform from a research tool called as Project Planner. So there are 4 research tools, as I said: Methods Map, Reading List, Project Planner, and with Statistics Test. And I would continue my entire presentation today with the Project Planner. Why Project Planner? Because this is for all people who are into research. If you are a beginner in research or if you are a faculty member, this talks about step-by-step approach for research. For example, philosophy of research, designing a topic, reviewing the literature, developing a researchable questions, and it goes up to writing up and dissemination. So all the topic, the flow of researchers' workflow is actually over here, and content related to that is here. And this is for beginners to kind of quickly run through what I need to know in particular stage of my research. So right now we are in defining a topic. So this is simple like an FAQ kind of mode. So how can I decide what to study? How do I identify a good research topic? So some of the presentation slides that I have made are actually from this. For example, what are the things that we should consider before getting into a research? I was talking about the access question. So these are all actually lifted from this particular section. So we know that, okay, access question is good, and that should be access is something that we need to understand. Do we have access for all the resources and the interviewers, or the resources that we need to have? Is there any government objections there in my research? And now I've read an overview. Project Planner will always give you an overview. This is just a kind of wrapper to a sweet toffee which is going to be in. I would call Project Planner as a wrapper covering the entire SAGE research methods content. All topics are here, but at a very macro level. So if you want to get into that, into the platform, then you can do multiple ways. You can do a simple search, or from Project Planner also you can go. For example, here we are talking about access, and it says that search for resources about access. So wherever you find the search bar, you can just click on that, and it will straight away take you to all the content which are available related to access. So let the platform work. Meanwhile, the hyperlink that I have given, that page is open. So it talks about accessing the research field. It is chapter 7 in Handbook of Qualitative Data Collection. So what the author says over here is that the process of gaining access to fieldwork settings and research partner is widely overlooked, is what he says. He also goes beyond and says that the transitional stage between research design and data collection is rarely acknowledged. So which means that some of these access questions are really important for us to do research, and we should go out and study further into it. How it helps is that when you are in a project planner, when you are going step by step, you know something about access is information related to access is important for me. When you go to your PhD guide, you will be well prepared. That's what this platform always intend to do. For example, I've searched on that search bar, and here is the access content. So if you see, first appears as a lock. The lock would mean that this particular content is not available for me to access. And here there is no lock, which means that I have full text access for it. So every researcher would want to kind of, after doing a lot of search, if you get into a closed doors that you are unable to access the content, it will waste your time. So there is a simple tool which will help you. Whatever you search, you can get only full text access, which is content available to me, if you can see here. So do a basic search on wherever you are and arrive on this page and click on this content available to me. The moment you do it, if you can see, it is filtering, and all the content which is full text access available for you will be filtered out for you. So now I have searched access and I click content available to me, and only full text access content I am seeing over here. Right? Everywhere there is no lock, and the chapter that I was showing you is this, accessing the research field. And now I click here, get into the page. I'll show you how to download a page and how to browse the sections of this particular page and book. Straight away when you go here, this is the same page I was showing it to you. The author is talking about access to fieldwork. You can click over here and download the full page. And within this chapter, if you want to navigate, these are all the sections which are available in this. See, for example, you can see there is one case on access, and there is one more case. There are 3 cases and conclusion, further readings, everything related to access. This is just on one topic is all this page covers. And then if you want to see what are the other chapters available, here is the chapter navigation. Click here, view all chapters, and you can see what this SAGE Handbook of Qualitative Data Collection covers fully. So this chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is our access questions, and then you can still go on. It's a big volume book and it has around 42 chapters. So this is a handbook on qualitative data collection. So when we are talking about different types of content, the first thing what we saw is a book. So book is a kind of, it has chapters to it, it has some questions at the end of chapter, and you all understand what a book is, right? So I need not deep dive into it. So it has a complete content with related to whatever search you do. Similarly, you can search the same over here giving the same access, or else you can also search on the main home page, like as I was mentioning here. For example, if I do access and search, you will again land on the same page. So first two things that we have seen a book, how a book is presented, how can you download the chapter. A book is fully downloadable, but chapter wise you can't download the entire book. Chapter wise you should be in a position to download. Second, what we saw is how to search the platform. One, we came from the project planner. Second, we did a simple search on the Google bar, Google like search bar on the home page. You can also do that over here. At any point in time, if you want to search any keyword, type over here and you can do a basic search over here. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you some of the filters. As I was saying, the platform has a lot of features. The first feature that I would want to show is filters, how to apply filters. So first filter that we applied was content available to me. Click on content available to me, which means that if there are certain part of content, for example, institution has an option to subscribe only books and journal articles as a subscription, or else only cases, or else only data sets, or else a combination of any of three: books, journal articles and data sets, book, journal articles and cases, etc. So you can do a mix and match option. Some institutions are subscribing to the entire platform as well. So depending on the subscription, the available content to you will differ. So now second filter that you are going to apply is content type. Say for example, I don't know the definition of it, or I want to understand the definition and read only the macro understanding of it. I deselect all and I select only the references like dictionaries or encyclopedias. Dictionary is basically like any of our English dictionary. It will give you only the meaning of a particular word. For example, if it is sampling or a random sample, what does a random sample mean? It will just give a definition. So if I just need to restrict myself to definition, I will select only dictionaries. Or if I want to understand further, I will select encyclopedias. And if I want to read further, then I will get into books. And I know the concept very well. I want to read only the case studies, then I select only the cases. So that's how the different, or I want to see only videos, then I select videos. So here I have selected only dictionaries and it has filtered me all the dictionaries with the keyword access to it. So if you can see it, first I did a basic search access and then I filtered by type, content type, and then available to me, which is clear here. So I have multiple levels of filtering I have done. If I want to add this search, or sorry, save this search, click over here, give a name to it, for example, and then save it. So this is a personalized feature. As you can see, you have successfully saved. This is a personalized feature. You need to create your profile to do that, because it is your search, you are saving it. Where will you see it? In my profile, you see my searches. Click on it and all the searches that you have made saved will be found over here. So two things that we have seen over here right now. While we discuss the project planner, I'll go back to the project planner. So we were in defining a topic and we were reading all the overview of defining a topic, and then we were how to identify a good research topic. We were reading it, and then access questions were over here, and we searched access over here. From here we clicked and went to the got into the platform, and we saw how to read a book, how to download, and how to kind of search. This is one way of searching through your project planner. The other way is through your basic search over here in this platform. So that actually concludes one content type, defining one content type, which is books. What is a book all about, and how to do a basic search, and how to get into the platform. I'll also talk to you about the advanced search feature. Click on advanced search. The primary difference between basic search and advanced search is basic search you do with a simple keyword. In advanced search, actually you do this Boolean operators like this topic and this topic, something of that, right? And then you can add this topic or this, and if it is in full text or title level, or if you know the author or editor, you can key in that, etc. And then you can actually filter the types as well over here, and then you can do a search. That's your advanced search, which is a basic feature in almost all digital platforms. So I'll go back to the project planner, and we were right now in defining a topic. So what you want to know when you are in the stage of defining a topic, you can have a broad overview in the project planner. And when you continue to read, if you are stuck somewhere and if you want to deep dive into the platform, you can dive by searching over here. If this option is not there, then you can actually search the keyword over here and get into the platform. So that's what defining a topic, that's how you can use Sage Research Methods platform while you are in defining a topic stage of your research. So the next aspect is literature. So I'm parallelly covering how to search a content related to your particular stage in research, and I'm just slowly introducing each and every stage. I will introduce you one feature of the platform. So right now we have seen one content type, which is book, and two features of basic search, saving an advanced search or saving a basic search into the platform and creating a profile. So the next is literature review. Now, by now you should be familiar that this screenshot is taken from the project planner sheet. What is that covered in literature review in this platform? If you go to literature review, reviewing a literature, you can see that these are all the topics covered. This is the same thing I have presented in my slide as well. For example, why do I need to do a literature review? What is a gray literature? How do I do a literature review? How do I keep my bibliography, etc.? So when you talk about how do I keep a bibliography, it is always said that when you are reading any particular topic, for example, you type a keyword, arrive on certain content with the platform. When in the beginning you won't do a critical reading, what you do is that you just accumulate the content. Okay, this topic looks interesting for me, and this is something that I want to read at a later stage. I would want to spend good amount of time and read this book or a chapter. I would reserve that later. So for example, in bibliography, I have shortlisted around 5 content types which I would want to read, not now, but at a later stage. So how I arrived here, I'll show that in in the platform itself. So I went over here and I typed a generic bibliography and I click on that. So the moment I click into it, all the content will be getting into the platform, will be thrown over here as a result. Now I'm just gazing the content. I'm not getting into the content immediately. I'm just gazing through. Okay, there are some videos over here, and this is a good book. Maybe I will read later. And I'm just gazing through the content type, and I see a book over here, which is exactly talking about citations, bibliography, referencing, quotation, notes, etc. And this is actually a book type, and writing and presenting research is the topic. Now I would want to read this book in depth. Similarly, when you go through this page, you may find a lot of other content into it. So this is a book that I've identified. This is an encyclopedia I have identified. These are 2 videos which talks about keeping bibliography, writing bibliography. And everybody say that when you are reading something, just keep accumulating your bibliography in any particular fashion, either in Word or in Excel or in PPT. It is only 5, so I've added and pasted in a PPT. It is easy for me, but in a typical research process or in a project, you would add maybe 20 or 25 in every topic, 25 to 30 contents, the type that you will be adding on. So the problem or the challenge that we face is that abundance of content, 4,000 plus content, and every book has around 30-40 chapters and lakhs of pages available. I would want to accumulate everything in one place so that it's easy for me to refer. Can I do that in the platform itself? Because for a researcher, if you're on a platform, you want to do everything in that platform. And second thing, bibliographic records. Can you cite or can you export the citation to any of your EndNote or any reference manager? Is it possible? Was a challenge that we are facing right now. So we have a solution in the platform, which is nothing but our research tool, which is called as Reading List. What is a reading list? A reading list is a tool to organize your relevant content in the platform itself. It has 3 features to it. One, it is your personal bookshelf. As I was mentioning that there are few personalization that you can do in this platform. One is this reading list. Earlier we saw saved searches. Right now, if you are selecting a book or a chapter, you can actually save it in your personal bookshelf. Second thing, reading list feature also offers you to make your bookshelf public. What I mean by public is that, for example, if you're adding a topic on ANOVA or uh, any other methods. For example, if you're adding it into your book reading list, anybody across the globe using Sage research methods will be in a position to find your reading list. He may not find your entire details, but he knows that okay, in this topic your name will appear. He can also search with your name or with the topic that you are giving for that bookshelf. He will be in a position to find your bookshelf. Now, what is the practical usefulness of this particular feature? If you are a faculty member or if you are a group of students doing a research, then you can select a topic and find all the content in Sage Research Methods platform, create a bookshelf, and then ask your friend or your student or your colleague to just go ahead and identify that bookshelf and add your bookshelf in his bookshelf. Similarly, you can do vice versa. What happens is that it minimizes a lot of time. You do research in a particular topic into the platform, go search all the content, accumulate it. Your friend does on a different topic, accumulates the content, and both of you can share, and that saves a lot of time and makes your research forward so fast. And then you can also browse others' bookshelf similarly, right? When others can see your bookshelf, you can also see others' bookshelf. So now, how to do that? Now, this is a book that I said it's pretty interesting. First, one thing is that I want to add it to my reading list. For that, I need to create my profile and log into my profile. I've already done it. Now, if you can see an icon over here, add to my reading list, you can click over here. If there is these are all the reading lists that I have created. I will show if there is an existing reading list, you can add it to it. Or else if you want to create a new reading list, I will create. I am giving the name as bibliography. So if somebody is searching bibliography in the reading list, he will be in a position to find mine as well. And I can give a description. Mentioning it as a basic textbook on bibliography. You have an option to make it public or private. Public, if you make, anybody will be in a position to find your reading list. If you make it private, only you will be in a position to see. Generally, I make it public and I create it. So it says your reading list is created. Okay, done. Now, what I've done is that I've just added this book. I can add any number of content into the same reading list, so that when I go to my reading list, I can see under bibliography, which are all the content I have added, and then I can do a critical reading. For example, I have selected this content to do a critical reading into it, this particular chapter in the book. So I go ahead and read. These are all the content available, major citation systems, etc. Everything is fine. Now I find this particular content useful for my research and I would want to cite this particular chapter of this book. So first of all, I've added all the books that I have selected to my reading list. Now I'm doing a critical reading. First I did a casual reading at a topic level, at an abstract level, and I've added everything. Okay, keep on accumulating. I will read it later. When I do my critical reading, I find that this book or this chapter is pretty interesting. So what I do, there is a small icon called citation over here. If you can see cite, right? So I click on that and this will allow me to cite this chapter in whichever format I would want to. For example, here you have ready-made APA, Chicago, Harvard, MLA, AMA. I'm sure these are mostly the popular ones. So we offer these 5 styles of citing. So I say APA and the format is here. I copy it to clipboard and I can paste it in my Word or Excel wherever I am getting my bibliography and citations accumulated. Second way is that if you are using any reference manager or any software for managing bibliographic softwares, EndNote, Reference Manager, these are all the ones that we already have here, RefWork, etc. So you can straight away select any one of this. I don't have any, so I will not be in a position to demo that. Straight away select that and click open and it will be added to your EndNote or any of this software. So the challenge of accumulating the content for a casual read and then going into a critical read, that is sorted out by something called as reading list, a tool. And second is that and from here also you can add this particular content to your list. And second is that citation. If you want to keep on building up your bibliography, the platform allows that as well. The second feature of reading list is that you can search others' reading list as well, is what I said. So how do you do that? Reading list as a section, if you can see under research tool, this is the second tool available over here. So I showed you project planner, what it is all about, and I will be further dwelling into project planner a lot. But now is the time for me to introduce you to the second feature research tool called as reading list. So I click on that. Every research tool and every content type has a separate page in itself in this platform. What I mean by separate page is that the moment you click on this, you land on the reading list homepage. So what it does is that you can either, as I was mentioning, bibliography, whatever name you have given, you can either search the reading list created by others using the list name, or the creator. In this case, I am the creator. You can put my name Sriram and search, and or else you can type by method name. You don't know both, but I want to see something on sampling. Then I can, or focus group as a method. Then I can type focus group and get into the reading list created by others, or I can search by keyword as well. And similarly, on the home page of reading list, you can see different types of methods. You can browse by discipline as well. If you browse by discipline, you will see reading list created by others, right? So for example, I will search in my name and I will show you some of the reading list, or you can type any topic, anything. So I will show you how it appears. So I know as a creator, Sriram, my reading list is already there. So anybody can search. I made everything public. If you see, I selected public. So if you can see, I made a lot of reading lists. Topic 1, Introduction to Business Research, Statistics into Statistical Distribution, Sampling Distribution, Test of Hypothesis, etc., etc., etc. So I made topic-wise, variables, research design, etc. So I made a lot of reading lists, and everything is public. So people can actually see it. And if you want to add to my list, here instead of my list, it will say add to my list. For example, I will search somebody else reading list, or I'll go by any method or so. For example, I'll go to reading list homepage again. So I feel that okay, I would go ahead and see survey research, maybe a method on survey research. I'll select on survey research and see who all have created reading list on survey research. Like there is one survey question, and there are 8 resources on this. Created by Peterson on so and so date. And if I find this interesting, I can click over here and say I can click here and see which are the book that he has added. I can straight away click over here and add to my reading list. So by which what I am doing is that I am seeing what others have created. For example, one of my own is available over here, and basis content available on survey research. If somebody has accumulated content, that bookshelf I will be in a position to add to my bookshelf, right? That's what the reading list tool would do. And reading list tool will also allow you to kind of browse reading lists or the bookshelves by content type, by method, by discipline. Both ways it will help you to kind of find the bookshelves created by patrons using Sage research methods. So we have seen citation as a tool, how to cite from the platform, and we have seen reading list, how to create a reading list and how to make it public, and how to kind of search others' reading list as well. While we were talking about literature review on the content that is available on literature review in the platform, and we are through with the reading list feature as well. Now I'll get into research design as a topic. So research design, generally it is, the word is used for experimental research, but you will also see the term research design used in a lot of different types of research, like descriptive research, exploratory research, quasi-experimental, etc. So which method should I use? This is a question that maybe almost every researcher would want to ponder when he or she is doing his or her research. So I have selected one content, which is which method you should select, whether it is single method or mixed method or multiple methods. And this video is from Dr. Pat Basley. She is actually from University of Birmingham. So what I do is that I'll get into the platform and show you from how you can take this particular video. For example, which method should I select is the question. So I will select which method, sorry. So here is a video on choosing which method to use. I'll straight away go into that. Now I'm going to showcase you a different content variety. We have seen books and reference content. Now is the video content. So what are the features available in this platform on the video content? This audio will not play for you because it will be difficult for me to kind of make you hear this audio. No worries, but the features I could explain through that. So number one is that if you see this how the video will launch, you can click over here and the video will start playing. Like subtitle on off, you have your subtitle on off over here, which is closed caption. You can title is coming over here. So this is a close. See, if you click over here, the video will start this place. So you can actually adjust and want to view any particular section. You can click over here and navigate the video. Second thing, if you want to download the transcript, click this PDF and it will download the entire transcript for you. Summary about this video, who's the author, what is the metadata for this video, everything is over here. The second key feature is that every video hello, am I audible?
Shriram, there is some kind of network issue, I think, at your end.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, better now. Yeah.
Am I audible now? Yeah, there was a small fluctuation in my internet. Sorry for that. But I think you were in a position to see this video, right? I mean, Deepak, if you can say.
If you could please play it once again, that would be really helpful.
Hello, Deepak?
Yeah, Shriram. I hope I'm audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some slight internet fluctuation at my place. So what I was showing is the features of the video content. Am I audible now? Hello?
Your voice is breaking often. Sir, your voice is breaking.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it audible
and
now?
Like there, yeah, it's
Yes,
audible, but
yeah. Now it is audible, but it is breaking on and off. Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me a second. Let me check. Just give me a.
Hi all. Meanwhile, I'll just like to make this announcement that I will be sharing the slides and login credentials with you all very soon. Those who have not yet given me their email IDs, can you please submit me your email IDs in the chat option so that I can save it in my the form, and then probably when I have the credentials with me, I will forward you all the details.
sir, rather for the PhD management batch, you can send it on the PhD M. There will be the ID which is there for the whole batch. Otherwise, you will have to do the individual mailing to each and everyone.
Okay, can you please share that email ID with me? And also, I will have to check whether anyone outside that group would be able to send.
See, like for example, those students which are senior to us and those who are from the PGDM or the other batches, I don't know about that, but the PhD management batch, which constitute the major bunch, so at least like around 40 people will are there in that group. So in that way, your work will be lessened.
But there might be an issue of an outsider having the access to send the mail.
Right. That's what I was checking, whether someone outside that group, IIFT group, would be able to send the email or not on that particular group. Because mostly it happens that any group which is created within the institute or organization can only be accessed by the people inside it, not someone outside.
So we don't have any problem in sharing the individual mail IDs.
Please do. I would most certainly share with you the slides and the login credential details with you.
And also, sir, one doubt I have in the research methods tool, which is which was being shown. Hello.
Right. Please.
So research methods tool, which was being shown by Sriram sir. So there was one option of choosing the statistics method. So will he be doing the demo of that as well?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. That's a part of my presentation. So as we proceed further, I'll be talking about that as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I would continue with the video option. So video, what I was showing is that first there is a closed caption. You can switch on so that the subtitles will come. And second is that the entire transcript can be downloaded as a PDF. And the third is that you can navigate the video from this transcript itself. And the metadata of this video is available over here. And actually all the video is citable. You can add it to your list. You can actually embed, if you're having a learning management system, if you want to embed this clip or this video, you can do that as well. And you will always get the permalink for this video from over here if you want to have the permalink. And one more important features for faculty members and scholars is that this video maybe is for around 3 minutes and or close to 4 minutes. There are videos which would run for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. The entire video segment you may not be interested in. So you can actually create a clip. For example, you see the transcript and you feel that, okay, the crux of this video is from 1.26 to 1.52 minutes. So you can actually create this clip from 1.26 to maybe 2.51 or whatever the duration it is, and say as an which methods. I'm just giving a name to it and I can save it. The moment I click on save, it will ask whether to save it in my clips or list. As it is a clip, I will save it to my clips, and automatically the clip will be saved. So that will be available again in my profile under my reading list, under my searches. I'll show it to you at the end. So this, in a way, it says that successfully the clip is saved to my reading list, right? So this is an important feature when you are handling, as a faculty member handling classes. You may want to show 2-3 videos, but not the entire one, but just a few section of the video. You should be in a position to do that by creating your video clip over here. And this is the same video I've given a hyperlink in my slide as well. So when you get this slide, you can actually click over here and get into the particular video. And this is one interesting slide. For example, what is your research question and what is the method that you will be selecting? For example, if it is hypothesis, you will do using statistics test on hypothesis or survey. And if it is on causal conclusions, this platform suggests that you should be using any of these methods, and particularly QCA is one method which is mentioned over here. But how did I arrive in a summarized fashion into this particular tabular column? Actually, that is coming from the project planner. So we are currently in the research design. I'll go to research design. So all the basic information which is required by a research scholar on planning the entire research project is available in this project planner. So for example, how do I match my research methods to my research questions? The entire thing that I have selected is from here. For example, if it is on hypothesis, use these methods. And if it is on causal conclusions, then use any one of these methods. And here you can see, if it is for causal conclusions, one of the method that you can use is QCA. Now, QCA is a topic. Qualitative comparative analysis is a topic I would want to deep dive and understand further into it. Any hyperlink that you see in project planner, the blue ones, if you can see, all these has hyperlink. If you click on these hyperlinks, it will take you to a platform called as, take you to the research tool called as Methods Map. So I'm introducing you to the next tool, which is Methods Map. Project planner we have seen reading list, and the third tool is your Methods Map. So I'm clicking on it. I'll open it in a separate window so that you can see what it is all about. So this is the methods map. For example, this actually maps the entire research methods terrain and it allows you to read definition of key terminologies and discover content relevant to your research method. So you can actually search over here as well, and you can actually navigate. For example, if it is multivariate models or anything, what are the different narrow terms to it? I'll actually take you to the QCA itself, which will be really helping you to understand much better. So right now on Project Planner, I selected QCA and clicked on it. So QCA as a topic is over here, and this is a subset of case study based research. And what is case study based research? It is a bit of qualitative data collection method, and it is a part of your research design. And what are the different types of case study or subsets of case study based research which you should know? You should know about concept mapping when you are doing case study based research. You should know QCA, you should know single cases, you should know vignette. So these are the different topics available, and again I'll go back and I want to see further into research design. So you can see that research design, this actually gives you a very pictorial representation of what is the topic and what is the subset or the underlying concepts of each topic that you should read. And this particular topic, what is the broader term for this? This is a part of research method. So the entire research methods map, that's why it's called as methods map. The entire research methods terrain is mapped over here. For example, key concepts of research, philosophy of research, ethics in research. Now you are in research design or in data collection. Click on data collection. What are the different ways? Mixed methods, multiple qualitative, quantitative. So I'll go for qualitative data method collection methods. These are the different types, and I'll go on group focus group as a method. And any other subtopics available on group focus group discussion, group dynamics. These are things that I should know before getting into focus group as a concept. So wherever I land, if I want to read content, then I will go ahead and click here and read over it. So now I will go back to my case study based research, and I was into QCA, qualitative comparative analysis, and I click on this and get into the platform. This is another way of searching and getting into the platform. This is a part of, I would say, a Project Planner is a wrapper for the toffee, and I would say methods map is another visual tool and a different type of wrapper to a topic. So now I searched QCA in the Project Planner. I saw my research question is all about causal conclusions, and QCA is suggested as one of the methods. So I want to read about methods. I went to methods map and I arrived on here on the platform. Now there are many books talking about QCA method. There are many encyclopedias. There are many dictionaries talking about QCA, etc. First, I would go to any dictionary to understand what does it mean, and then I get into encyclopedia or a book chapter to further read. Now I know QCA. Now I want to understand who has adopted this QCA in his or her research and how he has developed his research. So for that, what I do is that I dwell upon something called as a case study. So case studies which are presented in SAGE research methods are developed by scholars basis their own research. For example, this case study on QCA in political science, study of media effect on the policy agenda. What is the learning outcome? Explain what QCA is. Decide when it is appropriate to use QCA. What is the difference between different types of QCA, etc. So it completely talks about QCA as a topic a person has used in his research, and he actually talks about how to use QCA, when to use QCA, what are the different types of QCA, etc. in this entire case. So this is maybe for an seasoned researcher or an advanced researcher who has identified his method but wants to read some practical case studies on who has used that method, and it is more like a case discussion. So that is what a case study is all about. So we have seen dictionaries, books, and then now the video content we have seen what are the features of video content, and then comes cases. Again, cases are fully citable. You can add it to your list and you can share, etc. And all the content available in this platform is fully citable. It is all peer-reviewed content. On coming to share, when you click on share, you can actually share it through any of your recipients through your his or her email ID, and you can put in your email ID, put a message and send it to him, or you can share it in any of these social medias. But when you are sharing, you're not sharing the entire content like a downloaded PDF. What you're sharing is the link. URL of this link will go with your message. If the recipient has access to SAGE research methods, he or she will be in a position to see the full text of the content that you have shared. If not, he or she will be seeing only at an abstract level. So within your institution, during the trial period, you can share and others can see. After trial period, if you decide to subscribe to this platform, at that moment also within your IP range, you will be in a position to share the content and others can see full content which you have shared. So that's what I'll again go back to the project planner. So we were in research design and we were talking about QCA, and I showed you the hyperlink which is available over here. For example, over here on causal conclusion, I clicked on that QCA and it got into the methods map tool. So methods map, what it does, it gives a visual pictorial representation and mapping the entire research methods terrain. So, and this content, what I presented in the slide, is actually taken, extracted from this particular section. And you can see even project planner has a lot of videos into it. Every section has videos, so that when you are reading a concept, if there is a video help that we can provide, we have already provided it over there. So this is the QCA, the methods map link that I have shared. And the next aspect that we will go is data collection. So this is again from the project planner. So in data collection, either you can collect your own data and use, you can fall back on primary data, or you can fall back on secondary data, and sampling, how to do sampling, what is the research questions that you should do, everything will fall a part of it, and the brief snippets of the entire content is provided in your project planner. So these are all the different types of content questions which are presented in the project planner. It covers everything because data collection is one of the major portion of research. So we have dwelled it maximum in the project planner itself. So when you deep dive into the content, you have abundance of content on it. For example, what is metadata? What is data mining? How can I use panel data, etc. And then you have what is ethnography? How do I collect data using interviews? Problem-centered interviews, oral history, different types of interviews, focus group, visual research, and different types of survey, face-to-face survey, online survey, telephone survey. I mean, all methods of data collection is presented at an overview level in the project planner. And then when you get into the platform, you have lot of abundance of content in books format, in video format, in encyclopedia format, in case study format available within the platform. This is one screenshot I have taken from sampling. So if you see, you know now when you go to methods map, you can type sampling and you will reach over here. You can see the different subsets of sampling and different types of sampling available and content available in this platform, be it theoretical sampling or be it purposive sampling, probability sampling, random sampling, etc. So different types of methods that are available is presented in a visual format. That's what methods map does for you. Coming to data analysis, this is one of the critical part of research, and this is actually your original contribution to the field of study or research that you are in. So when you are talking, you will actually have either do a qualitative data analysis or quantitative depending upon your research, and how to interpret the results, and what are the books that are available, what are the different ways that you can do it. All content related to that is available in this platform. I'll briefly take you to the project planner. And for example, here is your data analysis and interpretation. So these are all the content available at an overview level. And then as you are aware, if you want to read about grounded theory, you click on it and you click on this search bar, you get into the platform. You are deep diving into the platform to read further about grounded theory into it. And then if it is very new to you as a concept, you want to have only the definition level, you go to any dictionary, read the definition. And there are many dictionaries available in the platform which will give you a primary understanding of what is the definition, etc. So it gives a small this thing, and actually you select content available to me, so that only full text you will get. And if you want to read only the definition, you select on content type, deselect all, and see only dictionaries. There are 108 results on dictionaries. Select dictionaries, wait for it, and then you can see A to Z social research, A to Z of social research. That's a dictionary available in this platform. In that section G will cover the definition for grounded theory. So it's a bit of what is grounded theory or about, what is the history to it, etc. just as one pager which talks about grounded theory. And then if you want to deep dive, you go ahead and search and read any book or any journal article or any other content to it. Some of the other, one man was asking that if I want to see only subject related to finance or management, you have landed on grounded theory, but something related to your discipline you want to see, for example, only business and management, then you deselect all and select only business and management. If you are using grounded theory in your type of research, and if you are anyway associated with business and management domain, then the content related to business and management covering grounded theory will appear for you. So that's a filter available on the right side on the content type, on the discipline. And then if you want to see publication date, I want to see only the latest ones. It has grounded theory coverage is up to 2008. So 7 to 8 I want to see. Then you are further fine tuning. From around 300 results, you have fine tuned to around 52 results, which makes your life much easier. Now see the filters: grounded theory, publication year, filtered by reference type, filtered by discipline. You have done multiple filtering. So you can actually save this search in your name or in your topic and then save it. It will be saved into your profile. And whenever you're, yeah.
Before we move forward, Shravan Bhattacharya has a question he would like to ask.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, this is not in this section. I have the question is regarding in the literature review. Can do we have any possibility that we can find the gap in the literature? Does it come from? Can we see from the literature itself that we can find the gaps there?
No, sir. I mean, finding a gap in literature is something purely a research-oriented one. The platform will not offer you a ready solution for it. But yes, it would help you to identify and read about literature reviews and stuff. But yes, you need to actually read a lot of literature and then you should find a gap. There's no direct solution is not offered, not just in this platform, and I would say mostly for any other platform, because research is totally kind of a unique nature in itself. So if you're handling a type of research, finding a gap, it's more your inputs than a platform is going to offer. So any platform, even if it offers, you need to kind of doubly ensure that what it is offering is correct. So that would vest with the researcher himself.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I was showcasing you is that types of filtering that you can do over here as well. So filter by publication type, result type, discipline, and the content type, etc. So different types of filters are available over here. After doing a basic search as well, you can do it, and you can save that search. And whenever you are refreshing that search and clicking on the search again, if there is any content added in this platform, that will also be added to your results which are getting thrown up. So that's what data analysis and interpretation is all about. But when you are doing data analysis, generally there is this is a methods map. Like for example, if you are doing a qualitative, there are so much of different subtopics which are covered in qualitative. Similarly on quantitative. So I'll just go once again to methods map and show you how to navigate methods map once. For example, you can actually either go over here and do it, or else you can do it from here as well. For example, I will do a focus group. So method as a focus group, I select it, allow the methods map to refresh. See, it's a part of qualitative data collection. It's a subtopic to it. And for focus group, these are all the different topics that you should know if you are selecting focus group as a method. That's the narrower terms for it. So you actually can search over here any topic, for example, QCA as a method, QCA, or any Delphi as a method, whichever type you want, the keyword you want, you can search, and it will show in the methods map as well. So I have done a qualitative, a data analysis, quantitative, and I have presented over here in this slide. One challenge that generally scholars and everybody will face is that as a research scholar, we are all on top of our domain, and we know what is the research that we are doing. One challenge that we face is when it comes to statistics. Not every research scholar is on top or well aware of statistics or good in statistics. So what can we offer if that is a challenge? Which statistical test I should perform for my type of research? I have data and I want to do some statistical test. I don't know how to do it. Which statistics test I should do it? So is there a solution? And that's what ma'am was asking in the beginning of the session, which is a tool called as which statistics test. What does this does? It is a simple tool, very simple but very effective. It asks you certain questions. The more and more you answer each and every question, finally it will take you to a particular statistics test which you can use in your research. For example, I'll go back to the platform, and now comes the last. We have seen methods map. All throughout the presentation I was dwelling on project planner. Reading list, you know what it is. Now I'll go to which statistics test. And as I was showing, this is a small Q&A kind of session. What is the purpose of your analysis? To look for differences between set of data or to look for an association between variables? Just for demo purpose, I am selecting association between two variables. And then it asks, what do you want to do with your data? Measure the strength of association or predict values of an outcome? So I would say, okay, I would want to predict values of an outcome variable from one or more independent variables, and then select next. What is the measurement level? Interval ratio, ordinal, nominal. At any point in time, if I'm getting stuck over here, but I don't know what is measurement level, or I don't know what I want to understand more about variables, see all the hyperlink. You click on these hyperlinks and it will straight away get into the platform and give you content related to that so that you can understand. While you are understanding, if you just want to have definition, go to a dictionary and read definition. If you want to further dwell more, you can read an encyclopedia or a book content into it. As a concept, you know, but you want to read some of the research scholars case studies, you go to case studies and read it. And then if you want to practice it, you have data sets. I'll get into data sets later, but for now I'm selecting nominal and say next. How many categories does your outcome variables have? More than 2 categories. I'll select that and click next. So it says that multinomial logic regression is the statistics test that I would want to use. So what is this? If you want to read further, you click on here, get into the platform. You have dictionaries defining that, you have encyclopedia content, you have books, you have case studies. You can read everything, try to understand what it is and who has applied this type of statistics test in his research. You can understand that through the case studies, and then you can get going. Now, as I was mentioning, this platform also offers you data sets. These are authentic sources data sets. It is noise-free data sets. You can actually download it if you are having SPSS or R software. You can download it and try to understand how the data operates. So, for example, this is a data set. Both are data sets. I'll click and show one of them for you, how it appears and how can you download. Number one, on the right, you see you can cite this data set. You can click on it and add it to your citation. If you are using this in your research, you can add in your reading list. This is the data set all about, and if you can see, you can download it in Excel, or you can download straight away into SPSS, or you can download it into R and start using the data sets. And from where it is taken, the metadata has everything related to it. What is the keywords, what is the discipline, and from where it is taken from US Center for Disease Control, and this is a data set for you to understand multinomial logic regression. And there are some teaching learning material, for example, teaching guide. Teaching guide talks about how you can use data sets in your classroom and teach to your students effectively. So this professor actually is talking about how he has used one of the data sets from the Sage Research Methods platform in his classroom and how he actually helps students to understand better the data. So that's what it has. It has cookbook to it. It has everything to it. And the data set info, this is about this data set, data source, for how you, from where it is taken. Everything related to that is completely available for you here. So that's what a data set would do. These are set of data collected from authentic sources, and these are completely citable, peer review, and these are noise free, and teaching and learning materials are there in the data sets, and you can download these data sets either in Excel or in R or in SPSS package and directly start using this data set. This data set is only for your practice purpose. You can't use it in your data collection. because this is already a data which is used by a scholar, and we have actually removed all the noise, and these are noise free data for your practice sessions. So that's what data set offers you all about. So what we saw is that which statistics test, it's a simple question and answer kind of session for you, and then it will help you to identify which statistical test I should use in my type of research, and then I can get into the content. Once I finally the platform suggests a test, I can click on that, further read about it, and if there are any additional resources, I can do it. If you want to start over again, you click on here and you can start over again. So that's what the simple tool which statistics test does in this platform. So that's the final section. I'm almost done with all my product demos. So what it is, it's all about writing up. So it's never too early to start. Be motivated, be systematic. Don't worry about the length in your very first draft. This is what everybody would say, and Sage Research Method platform also says the same. And these are some of the elements of PhD thesis should contain. I mean, you all know about this. These are some of the content that I have selected while you are in writing up. For example, am I the only one struggling to write a literature review? There is a video on it wherein the author talks about why writing a literature review is really challenging and how to overcome that. And when you are writing, you should write to create an impact in the society, in the research fraternity, in your academic community. So how to make your writing impactful? There is a video on that. And similarly, many of our research scholars would want to kind of convert their thesis into book. So what is the process that I should follow? Whether writing a thesis or converting a thesis into a book or an article, what should I do? There are some videos on it, and 8 tips for writing up. These are very short, cute tips available for people who are writing up their thesis and dissertation. So some of the content that I've accumulated, and as we always say, this is just 4 of it, so I put it in a PPT, but as a research scholar, you may want to accumulate more content. So use the reading list effectively and add all the content, accumulate it, and then critically read it. Then you can cite the content directly from the platform. You can share it, you can download it, you can print it. There are different types of content available in the platform. Dictionaries will help you to find definitions, and encyclopedias and books and reference materials will help you to read completely about the topic which you are using. And then there are case studies written by scholars why a particular method was followed by him or her, and then you have data sets to practice different types of methods that you are using. And of course, which statistics test is a very short, effective tool which will help you to kind of identify which statistics you should use in your research. So overall, I think you have seen books, references, cases, data sets, and video, different content types. I have explained how you can browse them, how you can filter them, and how you can benefit with those types of content. I will put a tick mark to it. In terms of research tools, project planner, the entire presentation I have dwelled on the project planner. And reading list, I have shown you. Methods map, I have shown you. Which statistics is the last one that I showed you. I will put a tick mark to that as well. And in terms of platform features, I've showed you how to search, how to do an advanced search, how to do product-wise search. On the filters, I've shown you how to save your search, how to cite the content which is relevant to your research from the platform, and how to share within the platform. I've covered everything. So a dozen things covered in a span of 1 hour. That's too much, I know, but that's why I've started recording this session. I hope in between the internet discontinuation, it has not affected the recording. I will share that recording with you as well. And I would leave you with one small thing that we have done for one of the institution. So what we do is that once you start subscribing these resources, so some of the support I would want to talk about for a few minutes on how do we help scholars, faculty members in bringing this platform to practical use in your institution. So what we do is that, number one, yes, we conduct such kind of in-depth sessions to your faculty members, scholars, and students and library team to kind of understand what is this platform all about and how this can be effectively used. And second thing, what we do is that we support you with a lot of fun game kind of activities to help students use this platform the maximum. Like we conduct quiz, we conduct assignments on the platform just for fun's sake. It won't take much of time. It's online, so anybody can take from anywhere. Maybe 10-15 minutes of your time you can spend, and we award prizes for winners, certificates for winners. That's what we do to engage. And third important thing that we do is that we do a syllabus map. What I mean by syllabus map is that recently one of our institutional customer came back and said these are the 2 courses that they are planning to do for their MBA students. If you can see my screen, one is on business research methods, and other one is on statistics for business management. So these are all the topics that are covered here. For example, introduction and data collection, summarization of data, sampling and statistical estimation, test of hypothesis, correlation, regression, etc. And other course would have more or less the same topics, but a bit of research design toward attitude measurement and scaling, data processing. If some faculty members call us, you can actually relate to all these topics. What we did was that we mapped this entire curriculum to Sage research methods, and I will present this. And this is what we presented to them. And as the content is more or less similar to almost all academic institutions across the globe, we made it pretty generic. So for example, the entire topics for introduction and data collection, what we have done is that first, how to engage students with a research methods course. There is a video on that for teachers. And then all the topics which are presented over here, I mapped that to the content available. For example, there is a book on doing management research, collaborative research in organization. There are 4 books I have selected. Similarly, a video on tips for first-time researchers, and then data collection. There are book and there are some book chapters. For a book is a complete book on data collection and analysis. There are many chapters in a book that talks about data collection and analysis. So I've bifurcated that into book chapters, and then a case study which is related to data collection. And I've segregated for each and every topic. For example, summarization of data, there is a book chapter, and there is a book chapter on frequency distribution, everything. And there are videos, there are dictionaries, there are encyclopedias. It's pretty lengthy, but we have mapped their entire curriculum. So how it helped the customer is that during this COVID, they are completely online. They are working from home and they are conducting their course entirely online basis this Sage Research Methods platform. So we do this for our customers. If they are willing to give their syllabus to us, we can actually do a syllabus mapping, which will help faculty members to handle classes better. And similarly, all this topic, if you see, I have made the content in my reading list as well. So you can search by my name in Sage Research Methods reading list section, type Sriram. All the content which I put in the Word document is actually accumulated and being saved in my reading list as well. So it is available online as well as offline. So what I do, if somebody is asking, I want to see content on ANOVA on your platform, I share my reading list to that faculty member, and it is pretty simple. Every content is there. You start using it straight away, right? So that is an add-on that we do to our customers once the subscription is on. So with that, I think I am done with the presentation of the product and the platform and what we do outside product presentation. What are the other activities that we do to support research scholars and faculty members? Please feel free to log on to methods.sagepub.com. That is a URL for you to get into Sage Research Methods. You will be shortly getting the username and password based access credentials for your university. Once that is set up, Deepak will be communicating to you all, and I'll be sharing the recording as well as the slides deck as well as the username and password with you all, as I briefly show you what you should do in the platform. So get over here. I mean, I'll just log out just for because an hour back I said to you. So just to reiterate, when you get the username and password, go to this right top corner institution, click over here, straight away drop in your username and password that I'm going to give you. Don't go through this institutional. It is not institutional. Go to this administrator and non-institutional user. Straight away key in the username and password and log in. That's it. And then for creating your profile, click over here and create a profile if you would want to create. If you already have, just go ahead and key in the username and password, and you should be in a position to log in to create your own profile and get going on that. So these are my credentials. You can save it. Deepak's credentials, I'm sure you should always be having it. Please feel free to contact us anytime. And that brings us to the end of the session. I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll just go through if at all any questions. You can feel free to raise your arm and ask if there are any questions. I see somebody. Yes, ma'am, Sardana. If I see.
So, Shriram, this is Gitansh.
Yes, sir.
Actually, there was a request because of this lockdown challenge, we are not able to devote that much time. So, the request was if you can raise this complimentary period of 2 months to 3 months, that will be helpful.
Yeah, I should be in a position to do that. I can always increase this access from 2 months to 3 months. That shouldn't be a problem.
Because that will give us substantial time also, so that we can, like, as of now, on the first go, we find the platform very useful, very insightful, but then we need to probably dive in more and then be very confident enough that we should go for the subscription full time.
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
that will be helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Point
Thank
noted.
you.
I'll be doing that. I don't see any questions in the chat box. If there are any doubts or questions, you can feel free to ask me. Yeah, I see one more person having some query.
Sulagana from PhD 2018 batch. I just wanted to ask if this is accessible from home also, or I need to go to campus.
No, because of this COVID and work from home, we are going to give you username and password, which can be accessed anywhere.
Thank you.
You need not go to your institute. It's straight away, as I was showing, straight away go to Sage Research Methods platform, click on the institution, key in the username and password, and you are in. That's it.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions? So I see many of you have given your email ID. So what I will do is that I'll collate all these things, and once I'll share the slide deck as well as the video recording to you all, so that you people can use it. And once the trial is set, I would go ahead and give you the username and password for the Sage Research Methods trial as well. If no more questions, I would want to thank you all for your active participation. It's real privilege and honor for us to have you in this online session. Deepak, if you can please conclude. Thanks a lot from my end. Deepak?
Yeah, thank you, Shriram. Thank you so much. So we have with us Amita ma'am from IIFT Delhi campus, and thank you so much, ma'am, for organizing this session. Unfortunately, Shiba ma'am was unable to join because of her some commitments earlier, and but she has conveyed her thanks through WhatsApp to me directly that yes, she would be also taking care of all the requests that comes to her, and we would be sharing the recording with her so that she can also forward it to as many people as possible. So yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shriram and Deepak, for conducting such an informative session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we look forward to have one more interactive session like this on another platform or another topic. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah.